Open the file. What you're about to uncover is a web of secrets that has remained hidden for far too long. As we delve into the depths of this investigation, prepare to piece together a puzzle that spans years, involving key players who have skillfully evaded scrutiny. Each document, each witness statement, and each clue will lead us closer to the truth. This is not just a case. It's a labyrinth of deceit, where every turn reveals a new layer of complexity. With each revelation, we will challenge the narratives that have been spun, confront the shadows lurking in the corners, and ultimately shine a light on the reality that has been obscured. Grab your magnifying glass. The truth is waiting to be uncovered. The Cali Cartel, a name that echoes through the annals of drug trafficking history, was not just a criminal organization. It was a sophisticated enterprise that dominated the cocaine trade in the 1980s and 1990s. Based in Colombia, this cartel emerged as a powerful rival to the infamous Medellin cartel, led by the notorious Pablo Escobar. While Escobar's operations were marked by violence and chaos, the Cali Cartel was characterized by its strategic approach, focusing on bribery, corruption, and a more subtle form of intimidation. This investigation will delve into the inner workings of the Cali Cartel, exploring how it rose to power, the tactics it employed, and the devastating consequences of its actions on society. The origins of the Cali Cartel can be traced back to the late 1970s, when a group of drug traffickers, including the Rodriguez-Orejuela brothers, Gilberto and Miguel, began to consolidate their power. Unlike their Medellin counterparts, the Cali Cartel focused on building alliances with corrupt officials and law enforcement, ensuring their operations remained under the radar. By the mid-1980s, they had established a vast network, controlling approximately 80% of the cocaine entering the United States. Their success was not merely due to the quality of their product, but also their ability to navigate the complex political landscape of Colombia, often using bribery to secure the silence of key figures. The Cali Cartel's modus operandi was built on a foundation of secrecy and corruption. They employed a strategy that involved meticulous planning and the use of sophisticated communication methods to avoid detection. The cartel invested heavily in technology, using encrypted radios and coded messages to coordinate their operations. Furthermore, they cultivated relationships with law enforcement and government officials, creating a web of corruption that allowed them to operate with relative impunity. This strategy extended beyond mere bribery. It involved a deep understanding of the political landscape, allowing the cartel to exploit weaknesses within the system. The consequences of this corruption were far-reaching, undermining the rule of law and contributing to a culture of fear and violence in Colombia. While the Cali Cartel was known for its strategic approach, it did not shy away from violence when necessary. The organization was involved in numerous assassinations, targeting rival traffickers, law enforcement officials, and anyone who posed a threat to their operations. However, unlike the Medellin cartel, which thrived on public displays of violence, the Cali Cartel preferred to operate in the shadows. They understood that excessive violence could attract unwanted attention from authorities and disrupt their business. Instead, they relied on intimidation tactics, using fear to maintain control over their territory and silence dissent. This calculated use of violence further entrenched their power and allowed them to expand their influence across Colombia and into international markets. The reach of the Cali Cartel extended far beyond Colombia, as they established connections with drug traffickers and distributors in the United States and Europe. By the early 1990s, they had developed a sophisticated distribution network, utilizing various methods to smuggle cocaine into the United States. They employed a combination of air, land, and sea routes, often using legitimate businesses as fronts for their operations. This international expansion was facilitated by their ability to bribe officials at multiple levels, ensuring that their shipments went undetected. The cartel's influence was so pervasive that it became a significant player in the global drug trade, with devastating consequences for communities affected by addiction and violence. The downfall of the Cali Cartel began in the mid-1990s, as law enforcement agencies in Colombia and the United States intensified their efforts to dismantle the organization. The assassination of key figures within the cartel, including the Rodriguez-Orejuela brothers, marked a turning point in the fight against drug trafficking. The Colombian government, with the support of the United States, launched Operation Cleanup, a massive crackdown on the cartel's operations. This operation involved coordinated efforts between various law enforcement agencies, leading to the arrest of numerous cartel members and the seizure of vast quantities of cocaine. By the late 1990s, the Cali Cartel was effectively dismantled, but the legacy of its operations continued to haunt Colombia. The impact of the Cali Cartel's reign extended far beyond its eventual downfall. The violence and corruption that permeated Colombian society left deep scars, contributing to a culture of fear and instability. Communities were torn apart by addiction, and the drug trade fueled a cycle of poverty and violence that persists to this day. The cartel's influence also had global repercussions, as the cocaine epidemic in the United States led to increased law enforcement efforts and a reevaluation of drug policies. The lessons learned from the Cali Cartel's operations have informed contemporary strategies in combating drug trafficking, emphasizing the need for a multifaceted approach that addresses not only law enforcement, but also the socioeconomic factors that drive the drug trade. The investigation into the Cali Cartel reveals a complex web of strategy, corruption, and consequences that shaped the landscape of drug trafficking in the late 20th century. Their rise and fall serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the pervasive influence of organized crime. As we reflect on the legacy of the Cali Cartel, it becomes clear that the fight against drug trafficking is far from over. Understanding the strategies employed by such organizations is crucial in developing effective responses that not only target the criminals but also address the underlying issues that contribute to the drug trade. The story of the Cali Cartel is not just a historical account. It is a reminder of the ongoing struggle against the forces that threaten to undermine society. As we draw the curtain on this exploration of the unseen forces that shape our lives, one must ponder the true nature of danger. Is the most dangerous criminal the one you fear, lurking in the shadows, or the one you never notice, blending seamlessly into the fabric of everyday life? This question invites us to reflect on our perceptions and the often overlooked threats that may be closer than we think. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you seek to uncover more hidden truths and delve deeper into future investigations, we invite you to subscribe and be ready for new cases.